Oh 7 citizens, my name is Black and welcome to my channel CasaBLACK Gaming, where my house is your house. Now those of you who know me from my channel or on my Discord or the orgs I'm in know that I normally stick to positive vibes, but that does not mean I do not get aggravated or downright perplexed about the game or the decisions that are made by the devs who make the decisions about the game that we all know and for the most part love, even if that love can come with some hate sprinkled in at times. Today I want to discuss something near and very dear to my heart, and that is the current state of mining. And so let's go ahead and dig in because I've got a lot to refine here. Now I first want to give off a warning. I recently hurt my back and have been grumpier than usual, so maybe this is coloring my normal rosy outlook to some degree, but I don't quite think so. 4.1 came out the day before I hurt my back, and then I spent the weekend really wanting to play, but unable to do so, and when I finally did get in, I had to contend with terrible server performance, which made some aspects of playing a bit of a chore. But for the most part, the mining worked, so it was not really bugs that I want to go over and what I have the most issues with, but the actual mining gameplay as it currently stands. But my first complaint is why, oh why would you paint such a huge bullseye on mining by making it the center of attention with the past two events, only to have so many issues that have at times caused people to lose hours of work or to have to suffer through endless workarounds to accomplish what should be simplified tasks. Now I'm jumping the gun a bit to what's currently wrong with mining, but for a year that's supposed to be about resolving long-standing issues and getting the game to just work, to then introduce new things into the game that at times have not worked just seems kind of counterintuitive to making things better and has actually introduced new issues that we didn't have to contend with before. Just saying, centering multiple events around something that has issues is not the way to go here, and it also highlights how serious or hard to fix these issues are if they could not be resolved before or even during the events as they were in progress. Now the cargo being locked onto grids or the refinery stuck loading and not taking refinery jobs from the ships were two highlights from the first event that definitely stood out as troublesome. But what about now? Surely with all these new mining changes in 4.1, things are better, right? Now, no one was more excited about the new changes to mining than me. I've been wanting more reasons to do ground and rock mining for years now. New minables? Yes, please. New vehicles for mining? Double yes, please. A new event based around mining? Hell to the triple yes, please. But then the reality of playing set in. The biggest issue right now affecting mining are the freight elevators. Sure, we have the cool new Geo and it's streets ahead of the Rock in terms of fun and ease of use around the rocky terrain. It was made to be a ground mining vehicle and I love it. But you currently cannot reuse the boxes, and even selling the minables you get from the boxes is pretty cumbersome because you cannot just put the boxes down the freight elevator and sell directly from the boxes, but must take the boxes over to your inventory kiosk, move the gems from the Geo box into your backpack, then go to the inventory kiosk and move the gems from your backpack to the kiosk, and then you can go sell, and even then only 100 at a time. Also, you can only sell them in Stanton, which sucks because as little as you're selling them for, and since Pyro seems to be the most reliable source to find the newly added nodes that are actually working and not dead, this makes them a terrible time sink when it comes to profitability because of the trip and time involved from travel to cumbersome moving mechanics. Also, especially in Pyro where we don't have ground garages to call up rocks in the Geo, you need to be careful and move your vehicles into the freight elevator while bringing up the ship that you plan to take them on because they will sometimes disappear if you just leave them around the sides of the hangar, so not being able to call up ground vehicles in the freight elevator is really hindering and making it more cumbersome just to call up and load the ground vehicles onto your ship, making the ever-growing pre-planning process in the game just that much more of a time sink. Let's also talk about the new Golem because it definitely does not go unscathed here. While yes, the Golem is a great addition and I love its size so you can carry it on pocket carriers for some truly live out your mining dreams of being able to stay out and mine for days, it does have its own issues. For one, the Drake ore pods must be brought up one at a time on the freight elevator after you've purchased them, otherwise they get stuck inside one another. I wanted to bring along 4 extra pods, so that was 4 ups and downs on a messed up laggy freight elevator that is currently suffering suffering from new issues in the latest 4.1 build. The reason for me wanting to bring along 4 pods was so I could go out with my Hercules and have the golem inside with extra bags, so I could just swap them and stay out and then bring them all back together for one large mining run. You know, pretty much what it's intended to be for. Now, getting the bags on and off the golem worked well. Putting the extra bags on the Hercules did not work so well, and so instead of locking them in as you should, I could not because at times they would just fall through the ship, which is a known issue. There seems to be an issue with their Z-axis on both the ships and the freight elevator because they are halfway through the floor on both, and this seems to cause clipping and locking issues. Now, I could work around that though by not locking them into the cargo grid on the Hercules. What you cannot work around is when you get back and put your filled ore pods on the elevator and then go to the refinery deck to refine. Those bags are not recognized because you can only do refinery jobs from a ship. So you must go back to your golem in your hangar and place your full bags back on the golem, send the golem down, go to the refinery, place the job, then go back down to your hangar, call up the ship, call up the Drake pods one at a time, put them on the golem, of course taking the other ones off the golem that are empty, send it back down, go back to the refinery, etc., etc. Now, both the Geo and the golem are such an awkward process that it takes away any fun or coolness for these two new vehicles and just adds to the already long gestating issues that we've had with many gameplay loops in Star Citizen. There's enough there to get hyped, but the reality of trying to play and the workarounds and hoops you have to jump through bring the experience down and make you not even want to do the new stuff and just go back to playing as you were or to not play at all. Now, I really want to go out and just mine for days at a time and come back and just refine and sell the items that I worked hard for. At any time, a pirate can gank your stuff, but it's sad when they are not the biggest threat to your enjoyment or your success fail rate, but it's the actual systems in place that kill the pleasure or ruin the job. Now, I will say that I have not yet done the Align and Mine event, so maybe the mining with that event is better and there's no issues, at least in terms of completing the event. And even with last month's issues, me and my org mates were able to complete the event. It just sucked to see so much lost cargo due to bugs, which totaled in the tens of millions of credits. Don't get me wrong, it's an alpha. We do expect issues. It would just be nice to have some confirmation on if these things are being worked on and how soon we could possibly see fixes for these, since they're definitely making such an effort with mining. Anyway, that is all, and I thank you for hearing my complaint. My complaints come from a place of good. Now, I want to see this game live up to the potential that we all know it can. I thoroughly enjoyed mining in 4.0.2, and I loved how the resources that we never cared about before, such as tin, copper, and corundum, were suddenly in need and great for profit. Now, I look forward to more of that, which will probably come with a true mining guild and reputation, but before we get those features in the game, the actual mining system needs to work, from gathering to selling. The loop needs to be completed and working, and these new features and vehicles need to work as intended. My biggest fear right now is that these issues will not be resolved before we need to mine for base building and crafting, causing even more issues with those systems. The freight elevator issues are especially troubling when you consider that the main dev behind them, who was Dr. Chad, just left CIG last week. Now, if you found this helpful or would like to help amplify this complaint, the easiest way to do so is just to share the video, like and comment below, and then also give us any suggestions that you have. Let's have a conversation about it, and why not join my Discord where me and others have some good conversations about all things Star Citizen, both the good and the bad. We're also here to help and have a laid-back org without a dress code, so to speak. Pants are optional, so head over to our Discord for that info as well. We'd love to have you, and also offer up a great place for new players who want to learn the game and have a gazillion questions. Anyway, I've been Black, and thank you for watching, and let's try to keep it positive out there as we make our way through this non-perfect verse.